Hi. Today I want to talk to you about a topic that I really have been kind of dreading talking about, but I know it's important that I get this information out there for not just my healing, but for those who also deal with the same type of things, and to help friends and family as well. So you'll have to bear with me on this one because I'm pretty sure it's gonna get emotional for me. I am sitting in a beautiful setting. The birds are flying around and you'll hear them chirping in the background, and it's absolutely gorgeous. But I wanted a spot where I felt secluded and serene. We're going to continue our discussion on depression today. I am happy to say that I am on the up climb of the deepest, darkest depression I've ever had in my life. I have a history of depression, and I've had it off and on throughout my adult life. But this last episode was the darkest it has ever gotten. It started back in 2014 from a series of things that just kept happening physically, emotionally. My body just was having a lot of pain that was nonstop. I was going through some major problems. Things surrounding me, our circumstance and different things just started to really affect me. So it started in 2014. I was able to function decently and well for a couple of years probably. But then in 2016, a series of a few events broke me. And I've described it before as being broken into a bazillion pieces, and not just broken but shattered, and I couldn't pick them up and put them back together again. I tried, but with so many pieces and shards all over the floor, I couldn't do it. So I gave up my will to live. I proceeded to try to push the closest person to me away, because I figured if I could push him away, it would be easier for me to just end it all. I pushed really, really hard. I tried to not have him love me anymore. But he stood by me. He didn't give up on me. He held me up and he held me through it all. But 2016 was just the beginning of the spiral down. It continued, and I found myself secluding myself more and more and more in my room that I've described to you and I've shown you. It became my world and my life. I didn't go from that spot. I didn't leave the house. On a rare occasion, I would attempt to go places and push through. But as 2016 ended, I had voiced 3 times my desire to die, and that I was planning on doing it. Scared my husband. So 2017 came, and I thought I was going to get better. Things continued to get worse for me, and I went further down into depression and pushed even more people away from me, because if nobody cared, it would just be easy to let go. I pushed all my family away. I don't think I did it consciously. I think it was a subconscious thing. My children, who I love more than myself, I always have. Being a mother has always been the epitome of joy to me. But I found it hard to even talk to my children because I couldn't even talk to my husband. And he lived with me and my children didn't live with me. I lost the desire to have a connection to my children who I loved so very much. And now that's hard for me to even contemplate as I look back on it. How can that happen? But it happens, and it's real. I lost connections with my parents, with everyone. I got so further down into a hole that if you can imagine a hole having an opening that just barely squeezed through, and then I started to kind of mud around it so that nothing or no one could get into it. It wasn't healthy, obviously, but you kind of go into a mode of self-preservation sometimes, and then when that self-preservation is gone, you don't care about anything. You don't have the capability of caring. It's not like you don't want to, it's just you don't have the capability. You lose it. And I lost it. I lost all desire for any connection to anybody. My husband would tell me if he didn't live with me, I would have lost connection with him, and it's true, I would have. I lost a good chunk of that time. And then in 2017, I was put on suicide watch. I didn't want to live anymore. I had to be watched for 24/7. I couldn't be left alone. I had the birth of a grandson and another one on the way, and it still wasn't strong enough. I just needed it to stop. I needed the unending pain to end. So I was able to, after a time, pull myself out of that and climb back up. 2018 became my brave year. I dubbed it as my brave year. I was determined to start climbing, and I did. And I was able to come out of the deepest dark part of the depression. I still had the depression, was still going to weekly therapy sessions and being watched, but I wasn't on the verge of wanting to end it. So I fought hard for 2018. It was my brave year indeed. I did a lot of growing and a lot of new things for me to come to a point where I was able to start to do some reconnecting to family and friends. People don't understand that I would even get a physical reaction to the thought of just even sending a text message. I would physically get ill and get sick at just the thought of sending a text message to anybody, even my dearest loved ones. So that was just another reason why it pushed me further away from communicating with them, because I didn't want to have that feeling of sickness. But I tried little things at a time. I started to address that, listen, I've had this problem, and I'm sorry for what I've put our family through, but I'm trying to get better, and asking for them to help me to help reach out a little bit better. And things started to get better. And it didn't happen overnight. It was a process for me. I decided that I was going to do small, short little text messages and start with my just small, immediate family of my children. And that's where it started. I started to send text messages that didn't require a response, so that it would just get me used to sending them out and not being anxious if they didn't respond, or worry that they might take something the wrong way. So I would just say things like, I hope you have a wonderful week, I'm thinking of you, or I love you, or things like that, to try to help get me past that initial anxiety of doing it. And it worked. If I was consistent with it, and I did it, and it worked. And I was able to start then talking on the phone, which that was hard to do. So little conversations at first, and branching out and trying to call my parents a little bit more. I still am working on branching further out. I've been working with just my little group, and that's doing great. And I'm starting to make, and have been making, wonderful connections with my grandchildren. And that makes me so happy. I'm starting to do that, and that I've been starting to do that. And I've had some wonderful times and bonding times with both of them. And I'm having wonderful times with my children and finding joy again in doing that. I missed a lot, but I didn't miss so much that I can't get it back. And I think that's where I was stuck, of thinking I couldn't get back what I lost. But I have. And I'm loving it, and I'm enjoying it. And my next step is to branch out even further, and to try to do that a little bit. I am finding that a little hard to do at the moment, but I'll get there. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to have these bonding times and relationship with my grandchildren and my children and their spouses, and enjoy that, and enjoy my husband and our marriage that we're going to be celebrating 30 years this summer. They're good things. They're wonderful things. And I'm getting there. And I have to take joy in that, and I have to be proud of that I've come this far. I've set 2019 as my complete healing, and I'm hoping that I can do that. I set a goal for 2018 being my brave year, and I made it, and I did it. And so I'm determined that 2019 is going to be my year of complete healing. So stick around with me and help me as I continue this complete healing. Comment below with any questions you have, and I'll see you later.